coming in hot, all the way from China, shipped from Hong Kong, and stolen by LA Customs for like 2 weeks. We finally got the Hightron Hot Knives HK01 for you. You're gonna want to see this slicey beast, so stick around. What's up, Cripple Crew? This is EDC with DVD, Disabled but Deadly, and we've got a kind of an unboxing for you today. These Hightron products finally got to me yesterday after sitting in LA Customs for a couple of weeks. And I filmed an unboxing video on it, and this morning while getting some stuff ready, I deleted said unboxing video. So, I did put it back in the box, but I've experienced it a little. I've actually got a little bit more to say this time around, so that's kind of beneficial for you. Before we get to this, make sure that you stab that like button, like you mean it, /subscribe. I'd love to have you here, and you're not going to want to miss all the dope knife and EDC content coming your way. And also, don't forget, drop a comment below. Let me know what's in your pockets. All right. So, this is the Hightron Knives HK02 button lock utility knife. Whoop. And this is a dope little utility knife that I'm pretty impressed with. You're going to want to see more about this, and that's going to drop tomorrow. What we're here for today is the HK01. And I've been very excitedly awaiting this because the blade shape is dope, and the size and the measurements and the weight on this are crazy. So I wanted to get it in hand and see what it's like and show it to you guys. My rep with Hightron Knives has been awesome, very forthcoming, and got these out to me right away. And then LA Customs decided to keep them for a couple of weeks. So I've been able to sit here and stew and just wait for these to come in. But we got it now, and we're going to start with the packaging. Hightron obviously looking to try to keep costs down with their packaging. We're looking at a simple cardboard box. Not much on the presentation side, but I ain't here for the box. So yesterday, when I pulled this out, these were very liberally lubed. Maybe to make sure they made it through LA. You know how you need all that lube to get through LA. Plenty of troll skittles. But we have wiped down the knife, and I'm ready to show it to you guys. We're going to start with the handles. What we're looking at, the handle length is 4.6 inches or 116 millimeters. So we're looking at definitely a full-size knife. Black G10 with a carbon fiber overlay. And I personally think that the overlay looks pretty cool with the way that they chamfered these edges of the G10. And so you only see the black G10 here, and then you've got the stripe of carbon fiber. This thing already looks like a race car or a jet fighter, and I think that stripe of carbon fiber just makes it look faster. Obviously, we are looking at a crossbar lock. I like the blank pivot. It looks good. You know, they've got hot knives on the handle. That's their current series of knives that are out as hot knives. They've got a new series coming soon. Very hush secrecy stuff coming out. But, you know, some people are definitely not going to dig this part. The hot knives on the handle. Yeah, I'm not going to see it too much. So it doesn't really bother me. I'm glad it's not on the clip. That would bother me. If it said hot knives on my clip, I would have an issue. This on the handle, it doesn't really bother me. So we're looking at T6 hardware with a T8 pivot. I do wish it was T8s all around, but you know, that's not a big issue. Semi-deep carry, tip up as the gods intended, right hand only clip with like a matte black finish that does look really good on there with all the other matte black hardware. I like the looks of this on the pocket clip. It seems to go in and out of pocket really well. I have carried it since it got here yesterday. Let's get to this blade. That is a wicked, wicked looking blade. And wait till I get to the stats on this blade. First, did you hear that sound? Whoop. It's a very much a G10 sound. And I was wondering, like there's a metallic sound to so many of our knives that wasn't there when I first opened this. And I'm wondering if that's kind of how the Brat sounded, the Kaiser Brat, because I remember people saying that the sound and feel was different. But when I looked in here, it made complete sense to me. One of the ways they are keeping the weight down, I don't know if that's pulling up on camera, but I will show you. Yeah, I think that's showing. Where these screws are, your liners go from here to just right past here. Just enough liners to contain this crossbar action. Back here is just solid G10. That's what's bringing down that weight. You got a G10 backspacer too, which is nice. That's what's bringing down that weight. And when I say bringing down the weight, we're looking at a 3.6 inch or 90 millimeter long blade. Overall length on this bad boy is 8.2 inches or 200 centimeters, or millimeters, not centimeters. We're talking PM2 size. Fully as long as the PM2. We're talking Monster Urban Grip length. Definitely a full size EDC. Let's put it up against a more normal EDC. Here's a CJRB pyrite. You can see it's got over an inch on the pyrite. And here's a bug out. Pivot to pivot, quite a bit bigger than the bug out. However, we're looking at only 2.8 ounces or 79 grams. And that's because of two reasons. That solid G10 back here with no liners and this blade stock. You're looking at a blade stock thickness of only 83 thousandths or 2.1 millimeters. This might be the thinnest blade in the collection. And they put a very good edge on this from the factory. As you can see, this thing will slice for days. 83 thousandths on the blade stock thickness with a full flat grind. I haven't had my calipers calibrated lately, but that is some very, very thin behind the edge measurement right there. This is so thin, but this little swedge ends right up here before the tip, giving you a little bit more thickness up there by the tip to give you a little bit more strength when it comes to puncturing and such. Let's get this stuff cleaned up out of the way, and we're going to talk about some ergos. So, I'm impressed with the weight for this definitely full-size knife. And I'm also very impressed by the blade geometry and the factory edge. Ergonomics. So back here behind the pivot, I have a full 4-finger grip. I can hammer fist it. I can saber grip it. There is no jimping on this blade stock, but I'm still pretty locked in because of getting back here behind the pivot. I can choke right up here onto the pivot, and I've got plenty of room between me and that blade. I can do all kinds of work with this. Or if I really needed some detail, some control, I can choke right up on this. And what we're looking at, this is a straight back blade coming all the way down where the tip comes down to the center line of the pivot. And with this negative angle up here on the handle, it means you can get most of this blade down before you, and if you're back here, you can get all of it down before you're hitting knuckles. That tip being so low compared to the pivot also means it's very easy to get that tip up without having to raise my arm up too much. This is 14C 28N, and they said that their target HRC is 58 to 60, which is pretty standard with 14C. They lost my train of thought there, but here we'll go with the opening methods of opening. You've got several ways to open it. You've got the thumb studs, which work great for your thumb or the reverse flick. And then you've got this blade hole, that works for both the thumb and the reverse flick very well. Meaning you can, if you wanted, you could even remove that thumb stud and just rock the blade hole, though it would leave a little hole in the blade. I personally like having both on there, the thumb studs and the blade hole. And these thumb studs are kind of wide and they're stepped, and they give you plenty to grab onto when you're launching out there. Their crossbar studs also are plenty wide and very easy to grab. And when you grab it, it drops. You can also open it with that crossbar. And you know, the one thing that I look for in a crossbar is I pull back, the knife closes. I don't have to flick it. I don't have to put any extra effort into it. It just closes all the way. Very well tuned crossbar lock. Feels good on all the deployments to me. This is a knife that you can turn around and cut some straps with, though with that really thin geometry, we wouldn't want to be cutting any really thick straps. But where this knife also excels is right here in the Beef Jerky Avenger grip. I can cap off this butt with my thumb, and I've got so much room between me and that blade, and then over 3.5 inches of blade length. And I can go blade out, I can bring it in, and when I come back blade in, I can still cap off the butt of this, and that pocket clip is locking right in here. So slashing maneuvers would be great. Nobody's getting my beef jerky if this is on me. Overall, I think this is a pretty cool offering in the budget banger territory. This is coming in with the carbon fiber at $60. They've got pink G10 with sprinkles and a black blade, which is PVD, by the way, for $57.99. And then they've got green G10 with the black PVD, and that's $56, $55.99. So between $56 and $60 for 14C with some of the sliceyest geometry I've ever gotten, and a very light but balanced full-size knife. I love the aesthetic of this knife. I like that the sharpening choil, the plunge grind starts here, and even though it goes up a little bit, see if we're getting that, you do have quite a bit of sharpening life with that choil. And let me see. Oh yeah, it's a crossbar lock. So yes, and where it's meeting, you do have, because it's meeting back here, you do have the ability to cut your own sharpening choil in if you sharpen more than that off. So, sharpening life is great. My only, I guess my only nitpicks on this would be T6 hardware. I'd like to see T8s all around. You know, I used to hear other channels say that, then I had a T6 strip on me. So I'm a believer now in T8s after drilling that screw out. And I'm not the biggest fan of hot knives on the side of my side of my knife. However, I can overlook it because the blade branding and pivot branding is so minimal, and they didn't put it on the pocket clip, which is where it would have bothered me the most. So, all in all, I love the aesthetic of this knife. The more I play with it, the better it feels to me, and the more I'm getting used to that G10 feel. It's not a plastic feel. It's completely different, and I'm guessing if I were to play with a Kaiser Brat, it would feel kind of similar. But all in all, I think this is a pretty dope offering. I will have this link below. That's a non-affiliate link, so you don't have to worry about anything. If you want to check these out, hit them up below and pay attention tomorrow for the drop on that button lock utility knife. I think they're going to sell a ton of those. I hope everybody has a killer weekend. Stay safe, stay frosty, and most importantly, stay deadly.